Dustin Johnson has become the inaugural LIV Golf champion after just 6 events, bagging a mind-boggling prize of $18 million. He's being praised by fellow golfers and CEO Greg Norman for clinching the unique title. But at the same time, there's a lot of controversy going around about how easy it was for Dustin to pocket such a huge reward. Keep watching this video for more on Dustin's success and earnings at LIV. First up, the easiest $18 million of his life? Now, don't get us wrong, this isn't the first time the former #1 has bagged a massive amount of prize money. After all, let's not forget, Dustin is a 2-time major winner, having found a lot of success during his days with PGA. But $18 million for just 6 events? And what's even harder to believe is that he's had only 10 top 5 finishes in those 6 events to clinch the title of the first LIV Golf Individual Championship. The 38-year-old finished at the 16th spot in Bangkok, but we're guessing that dramatic win over at Boston Invitational event really put him ahead of the competition. Brendan Grace, who's currently at the 2nd spot in individual rankings, is an astonishing 42 points behind Johnson. We're not trying to take anything away from Dustin here. Along with being an elite golfer, he definitely made his presence felt at LIV, but we just can't seem to get over the prize money. $18 million for 6 no-cut events? And to think how this average finish in the 6 events was 6th, we're blown away. No doubt about it, but it's still not exactly a shocker since the Saudi-backed league was full of cash from day one. As for Johnson, well, becoming $18 million richer in just 6 events probably sounds good to him no matter how we describe it. Next, it's still an honor. While PGA players can't get over the insane prize money on Twitter, Johnson couldn't care less, as he thinks it's a huge honor to go down as the first individual champion of the Rebel League. Locking up in the individual competition is big. True that. If put aside the whole PGA versus LIV and petrodollars issue, winning the first individual championship of a new golf tour is huge. History would have remembered him anyway, but at least now he has something else to his name as well, right? LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman couldn't be happier for Johnson, saying he's lived up to his billing. Norman also congratulated him for becoming along with labeling him as a true LIV Golf cornerstone. And in case you're confused by what Norman means here, let's just say switching over to LIV has come with its own set of challenges. For starters, LIV still doesn't have official ranking points, which means guys like Dustin are losing their spots despite actively playing golf. But anyway, let's jump right back to the positives. $18 million is just what he made from these 6 events if we're talking about his bonuses. It's just bizarre the amount of money guys like Dustin are minting at LIV. And before we tell you about his total winnings so far, let's discuss some criticism that's been launched in Johnson's way of collecting the huge payout. Moving on, at least come up with something good. Honestly, if you want to sit down and inspect LIV under a microscope, then the same can be done for the PGA. But instead of dissecting Johnson's victory, why are people hating on him for collecting the payout? It's not like he specifically asked for $18 million, right? That was the predetermined reward, and all he did was finish strong in most events and record a win at Boston. That's what got him the prize money. So when Twitter teams up to take shots at LIV, saying their methods are odd and bizarre, it really doesn't make any sense. And for some weird reason, everyone seems to be coming down hard on Johnson for winning. We don't usually say this stuff, but quotes like "hate the game, not the player" were made for occasions like these. Golf Trends writer Josh Lees is literally calling out LIV for announcing Dustin as a winner on October 10th instead of the 9th. Can you even believe that? He tweeted out that it's so bizarre they released it on the 10th instead of realizing it yesterday. Let's take a minute for Josh since that was the best he could come up with. And if you watched some of our videos in the past, you probably know us for being above the whole PGA versus LIV war. At the end of the day, we just want to tune into some high-quality competitive golf. But guys like Josh are out here just to stir things up for the sake of argument. Now for a $29 million bonus. If you thought Dustin only took home $18 million after winning the individual championship, then think again. Believe it or not, the 38-year-old actually collected $29 million in total if we add in the bonuses. And what's even more impressive is that the total cash haul is almost $50 million now ever since he joined LIV. We're not exactly sure whether the bonuses are a part of his $200 million contract or not, but either way, we're pretty sure Johnson is a really happy man now. There are still 2 more events to come in the LIV schedule, including the $80 million team championship. If Dustin is able to keep up with his winning ways, who knows? He might end up bagging even more money before the season is out. And that brings us back to what we tried to tell you in our last point. A lot of guys are just taking shots at LIV and its players because the PGA can't keep up. Remember when the Saudi-backed tour first announced the prize money and contracts? Almost every major player would have left the PGA to join had they have been given official ranking points. But since PGA Commissioner Jay is playing dirty by banning players from participating in PGA events if they joined LIV, most golfers are just pissed off at the amount of money they're missing out on by not joining the Rebels. Up next, so long PGA. LIV might not have official ranking points, but it's left the PGA in its rearview mirror, and that's mainly because of the massive payouts. Dustin's best season at the PGA was when he won the FedEx Cup back in 2020, and he took home a jaw-dropping $31 million. Well, like we just told you, he's made $49, almost $50 million already with 2 more events, and an $80 million tournament still up for grabs. Now, don't get us wrong. We're not saying the PGA is some broke league that doesn't pay golfers, but let's put it this way. Dustin earned around $120 million during his 15 years with the PGA. Considering how things are going for the golfing veteran, he might just end up crossing that amount in bonuses in the next 2 years or so. Johnson is way ahead of the competition now with 121 points. There's no doubt the inaugural inaugural individual LIV champion is gonna finish strong with a lot more finances available in the bank. Last but not least, is it enough to get players to switch? We're not sure what it is. A lot of golfers say it's about loyalty while others just care about the game, and we tend to agree with the latter group. See, a golfer's loyalty shouldn't lie with a tour or something. It should be to golf. That holds true for the fans as well. We've said it in almost every video. At the end of the day, all we want is some good golf. We want to see our favorite players on the course having a good old game of golf. But do you think Dustin's prize money and bonuses are enough to get PGA players to switch? Who knows? Maybe they'll start doubting the PGA since LIV is clearly where the money is. And there's also some news going around that LIV is set to get ranking points immediately now because of some loophole. We're not going to get into the details since we're saving that for another video. But if we pair ranking points with massive payouts, we think it's enough to get even some of the best players to consider joining the Saudi-backed league. Honestly, we think the points are the last line of defense for the PGA. Once that issue is settled, then we're probably going to be seeing players leave left and right. It's like what Greg said a couple of weeks back. He knows a ton of players who want to come over to LIV, but all they're waiting for is for the tour to get ranking points. Pretty fair if you ask us. No one wants to slip down the rankings, even when they're competing. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Are you blown away after hearing about Dustin's earnings at LIV? And will this prompt more players to make the switch over to join the Rebels? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.